If I have to evaluate this piecewise function at f of -2 plus 3 times f of 1 minus 4 f of 4, I would first need to know what f of -2 is. I would need to know what f of 1 is, and I'll need to know what f of 4 is. In order to know what f of -2 is, it's saying that x equals 2. I'll look at my conditions to figure out where x could equal -2. The first one says that these are the x values less than -1. There's a 1 here. This one is saying that these are the x values between -1 and 1. But if you notice, it has the or equal to. So I have to make sure that I know that it's between it and equal to it. And this last one, those are the x values where x is greater than 1. So when I'm thinking about -2, -2 falls into the category where x is less than -1, because if -2 is x, -2 is less than -1. So I'll use the 2x piece of my function because this is the one that I'll use when I have this restriction. And so I'll plug that in and get -4. I'll do the same thing with f of 1. For f of 1, I have to look at my restrictions and figure out if x is 1 less than -1? No. Is 1 between -1 and 1? Or is it equal to it? And I will say, yeah, x is actually, if x is 1, 1 is equal to 1. So I'll use this equation and substitute in 1 every time I see an x. So you really just have to look at this part right here, the restrictions. You just have to look there to figure out which one of these you'll end up using. You don't use all of them at once. Whichever x value, in this case, the next one we're going to be 4, whichever x value they ask you for, you have to figure out if are you going to use this piece, or this piece. So for 4, is 4 less than -1? No. Is 4 between -1 and 1 or equal to it? No. Is 4 greater than 1? Yes. So I'll use this one to substitute 4 into. And when you do that, you get 13. So now that I've found what f of -2 is, f of 1 and f of 4 is, I can take what they asked me to evaluate and now instead of f of -2, I know f of -2 is -4. So instead of f of -2, instead of that, I can put -4 there. Instead of f of 1, I know that f of 1 is 3. So I can put a 3 there. Instead of f of 4 is 13. So I can put a 13 there instead of f of 4. I'm substituting in the numbers that I found them to equal. So I would have negative 4 plus 3 times 3 minus 13, and 3 times 3 is 9, so I'll have negative 4 plus 9 minus 13, and I'll get negative 8.